Thank you for plugging into this Family Life News podcast, streaming issues-driven, family-focused news. Welcome to another edition of Hometown Heroes on Family Life. I'm your host, Bill Price. Our guest this week, Doug Kibbe from Bemus Point, New York, senior pastor at Church on the Rock in Jamestown. He's using a national crisis to point people to Jesus. How has this changed church, not just now, but maybe perhaps forever, Doug?
Well, it's made us realize that we have to be digital as well as analog, you might say. There's no doubt that the face-to-face, gathering, whether it's church or a small group, is vital. But this has made us suddenly aware that we do have to be digital as well, that we really do need to think of a variety of ways to reach people with the gospel and do congregational care with the gospel. And we're really fortunate that we had team members that had the foresight last year to say, let's live stream and let's do it to the best of our ability. And so we did. And so this wasn't such a massive hiccup to us, you might say, in terms of ministry. But what it's done, it's helped me to realize how important it is to communicate, I guess at three levels. For me, it's to communicate compassionately and empathetically for people, to communicate honestly, because if this thing does persist, then we need to be ready for that, and we need to encourage folks in the midst of it, and then to communicate constantly. And so for us, what that has meant is being creative about using different video techniques during the week. For me, it's sitting inside my vehicle and doing just a 4-minute talk on something. Yeah. That's been real helpful and had great response.
Are you finding you're reaching more people than you would on a traditional Sunday morning get-together and go-to-church type setting because of just the state of affairs that we find ourselves living in? You're forced to do this. A lot of churches I've talked to have seen this as a real opportunity to reach more people than what they would have if this crisis hadn't have happened, because a lot of people are looking for answers right now, too.
Oh, you're absolutely right, Bill. As a matter of fact, our reach the last few weeks would have exceeded anything that we could have ever done in person. Our folks we have a lot that are pretty tech savvy and use social media, and we have made videos that I've encouraged them to be digital evangelists. Send the invite, send the link, do watch parties. And our people have responded. Last week, we reached over 2,000 people. This week, we reached over 3,000 people through our Facebook Live and our website. And who could have ever dreamed that? And so, I've learned that the value of using social media and the internet to our advantage to share the gospel. And we've reached into countries we never would have reached because of, watch parties and people sharing the link. So, it's been amazing. That's been the blessing, making the lemonade out of the lemons, as they say. So, we're grateful.
And finally, there's a lot of questions being asked, and, not a lot of easy answers for why this is happening. And it is going to come to an end eventually. It will be over. What is the takeaway when we, again, get together as a church body, get to physically hug each other, love on each other? What will we do differently in the aftermath of this, maybe that we probably should have done before?
I'd say number one is let's really begin to value the relationships that God has given to us within the church, to realize that anything can happen at any time, and to seize the day and really love and care for and encourage one another, comfort one another. I think also to remind us to not take our families for granted. It's really been good to be back and have relationships with families, but I think it reminds us that, every once in a while we all need to shift into neutral. We need to get out of the fast lane and just really value each other. I think the other thing is it also reminds us to, let's make sure that our walk matches our talk, It's not just about going to church on Sunday. Church isn't a place we go. I've always told our church that church is who we are. You know, we need to be a church without walls, and this has helped us to practice that, and we need to continue to do that. And then I think we need to always be mindful that there's thousands of hurting people, hundreds of people around us every day that are hurting, and they're hurting quietly and suffering silently, and we need to be attentive to that and take the initiative to reach out to people and just let them know that God loves them and He cares about them.
That's Pastor Doug Kibbe from Bemus Point, New York, this week's Hometown Hero. Join us next week as we search for your home, your town, your hero. It's Hometown Heroes on Family Life.